Welcome back, my wise astrology tribe, Cosmic Insight Astrology. This is Christina, your co-pilot. Let's have some sweet moon talk today, and we're going to talk about the new moon in Virgo, which is going to take place August 27th, 2022. I do tropical or sign astrology when I predict mundane astrology. And I always erect the chart actually to Eastern Daylight Time in Florida, Miami. So if you locate it somewhere else, you can erect the chart due to your location. So don't mind the ascendant over here, but we're still going to talk about the planetary aspect and this new moon. So, you know, the new moon over here, it's going to take a place in Virgo, and it's going to be at 4° 4 minutes. So what does it mean? You know, the new moon is when the sun and the moon merge together in heaven. It is join each others. The dark sky appear. So total darkness on the sky. The sun represents your essential self, your will, your individuality, your vitality, the desire for power. And what does the moon represent in our life? The moon represents our emotions, or subconscious, or instinct, habits, and our memory as well. The moon representing women in general, and also it's representing the people, the crowd. It also representing our breast and, you know, our mother, the way we were nurtured and the way we are nurturing our offsprings. And it's also representing our breast as well. So what's going to happen on this new moon? 4° 4 minutes. It means it's a Virgo decan because it's in the first decan. So it's getting an extra Virgo flavor, right? And what is the keywords of Virgo? The keywords of Virgo is modest and shy and very reliable. And Virgos are truly practical people and very diligent. They are also analytical as well. But, you know, they can be also dogmatic. They can be extremely critical and self-critical, and sometimes also cynical and grumpy. So the other thing what I wanted to say, it's in the second wad. So the second wad, because it's in 4°, it's going to give, this is the first wad, this is the second one, giving it a Librarian favor, which is Libra ruled by Venus, so a Venusian favor together. Okay, so it could be something, a flavor of if somebody wants to create some kind of, for example, a design for their home, or organizing. It's very good to organizing your jewelries. For example, Venus is jewelry. Virgo is really dogmatic and very organized. So it would be amazing for a deep clean of your house, for example. All right. Okay, so let's see what is this new moon ruled by. Virgo, ruled by Mercury. Mercury also in Libra, which is ruled by Venus. So the dispositor of this new moon, the ruler of this new moon is Mercury, and the dispositor is Venus, which is in Leo. So it loves to be here. It is like the perfect glamour Venus in Leo, right? But first of all, let's talk about the ruler of this new moon, that is Mercury. Let's see what kind of aspect does it make. And, you know, Mercury is a planet of communication, the reasoning ability, the way of thinking, you know, that is our brain, that is the way we process information and the way we are expressing ourselves. So what aspect does it make? It makes a beautiful trine with Pluto, and it makes a beautiful trine with Mars. And Mars is the planet of desire and aggression. It is also a really good, intensive physical energy. It's courage, it's enterprise. And what about Pluto? Pluto represents elimination, destruction, regeneration, renewal, and transformation. Pluto representing all the taboos. And in Capricorn, that is representing powerful people. So Mercury, also like the planet of sales with powerful people. So it could be some kind of contract, some kind of communication started with government people, with you know, like governors, with presidents all over the world, or someone even more powerful, shadow government. For example, Pluto is representing shadow self. It's representing our shadow side or shadow self of the world. So it could be like some kind of communication is with the shadow government as well. What about Mercury and Mars? So, you know, Mercury, actually, Mars and Pluto both rule Scorpio. So it's a very deep understanding. It's representing researches. So research is about what? Research is about infections, for example, or research is about high blood pressure or anything, you know, like, but, or gun violence and communications and laws about gun violence. And why do I say that? I'm going to tell you what, because, you know, Mars here is gun, Mercury is, you know, like communication, and it's like rules and contracts. This is the government over here, but making laws. Why? Because here is Neptune and Jupiter, and Neptune, Jupiter in direct midpoint actually is Mercury. So Neptune, Jupiter is law, that is the riches, that is a blessing. Neptune is forgiveness, and Neptune is taking care of the unprivileged, for example. So when they are coming together and Mercury going to be the indirect midpoint of these two planets, it could indicate like, yes, there is going to be a law for children. Mercury rules children, maybe against gun violence with the government. So that's how I brainstormed that out. But, you know, it could be like 200 more kind of interpretation of those planetary aspects and influences on us. And what is going to happen? Let's move forward. So I also checked, like Mercury is here, and Mars is in Gemini. And as I said before, we were talking about Mars, what is the planet of desire and aggression and courage. And what does it mean, Mars, for example, in Gemini? And Mars is in Gemini, rules the brain. Gemini also ruled by Mercury, and it's rules the brain, rules our communication, the way we are communicating. And actually, the new moon, you see, it's going to do a square with Mars. And but I have to mention, Mars going to go to shadow period in Gemini on September 4th, and then it's going to go to retrograde in October, and it's going to be in retrograde till February and comes out from shadow in March. So it's going to reside here for 7 months. It's significantly long period, all right? So what does Mars in Gemini represent? But of course, I'm going to make a whole entire other video about Mars in Gemini. I'm just going to tell you something about the influence of this new moon and what's gonna start during this new moon. So Mars in Gemini is a stimulator of the mind, right? Because Gemini ruled by Mercury also, and that's our mind. And it is giving us some kind of intellectual challenges. It is also giving us some kind of restlessness, brainstorming. So we will need actually to find some kind of outlet for our physical anger, because we're going to have a lot of self-criticism because of new moon Virgo, right? Criticism. Or it could be also some kind of brainstorming constantly, and that's why we're going to become irritable. The other thing is we will need to try to relax, and Mars in Gemini can't relax. Mars in Gemini actually finds everything boring. And what we have to be careful with, we have to be careful with our arms and limbs. Why? Because Gemini rules your limbs, your arms, and Mars is representing gunshots, knife, and fire. So actually many of us can have some kind of accident during the new moon, or when Mars going to be in retrograde over here. But also during new moon, you will need to be careful with guns, with knife, with swords, with anything what can pierce you. And because it could be truly an issue. And Gemini, you know, also rules the reproductive respiratory system, your throat. So it could be some kind of infection going on. Like maybe it could be like, all right, there is going to be more cases, COVID cases. And why am I saying this? Because you might not understand here, but okay, just stay with me. So Mars is infection, Gemini is throat and respiratory system, new moon over here ruled by Mercury, right, also, and Mars is in Gemini, but also rules Mercury, but Mercury is between Jupiter and Neptune. Neptune is pandemic, Jupiter is expanding it. So that's why I'm saying it. It could be new variant of COVID. It could be some kind of new pandemic coming up. So yes, that could lead to that as well. And, you know, I checked a lot of other things here. So I also checked if we do have any kind of asteroids, you know, like on Virgo 4 degrees or in Gemini 4 degrees. And I checked and I saw actually Urania being at 3 degrees at Gemini by the time new moon is going to present in the sky. And Urania is an asteroid who was the daughter of Zeus and also the great granddaughter of Uranus. She actually the asteroid of the classical music, classical dance like ballroom dance, waltz, and also to astronomy and astrology as well. And then look at that, what's happening with Amor on being 2 degrees and late minutes by the new moon in Virgo. Amor is the asteroid of 1221. It is a big, epic sensuality to our life. It is an asteroid of intimacy, but actually it's not like Eros, because Eros is truly sexual and animalistic. And Amor is the closeness, like coming from friendship, some kind of love or intimacy or romance. It actually rules romance. So it is ruling a romantic relationship dynamic. So let's see what's going on here. So Amor is here, and then it's squaring with Mars and Urania is music and dance. So there is some kind of issue between a romantic lover and you, perhaps. It could be one of you is really romantic and the other one is actually don't want to get intimate because there is a lot of brainstorming, or the other one is one want to have brain stimulation, want to have related or intimate with someone who stimulates their mind as well, not only like romantic or animalistic sexuality, but definitely want to connect with the mind as well. So in this time, that's gonna be very, very important for us. Okay, what else do I see here? So yes, the dispositor is here because of Mercury is the ruler dispositor in Leo, and that's glamour. And you see that Venus is going to be across Saturn in sky, so opposition. Saturn is delay and restriction and hard work and stamina. But Venus Saturn opposition, that's the best. And it could be something about like, yes, I want to feel glamorous. I want to invite it to the wedding or, you know, social events, but I won't be because of, you know, maybe I'm too angry because Mercury ruled, you know, Mars is here and the new moon is going to. So maybe I hurt someone with my words. It could mean like I had a verbal fight with someone previously, and that's guy because I can't stop talking, I can't shut up, and I have a, you know, like a verbal diarrhea, and then oh my God, I'm just going to, how do you self-sabotage myself with my words, and that's why I'm not invited somewhere. So okay, that's what actually I wanted to say about the new moon. And actually I did a previous video on from this new moon, and it's disappeared from YouTube, so I don't know what just happened. But I truly hope you enjoyed this. And if you did so, please don't forget to subscribe and press that like button. And if you would like to have a reading with me, just don't hesitate to get familiar with me and read about the way I'm doing readings. My website is www.urbanwitch.org. And I want to actually announce something. I'm very, very happy. Finally, I finished my first book, which is going to be published end of the month, hopefully before Mars going to shadow period. And that is a book for teenagers. Let's talk about that. And we're going to talk about Pluto, which is all the taboo, sex, death, racism, and everything what is taboos in families. So I hope you will enjoy it. Thank you so much for your interest and in your trust in me to guide you through your spiritual journey. Have a beautiful new moon, guys, and I see you next time. Bye.